of which, Frank Bruno is refusing to be intimidated by the atmosphere in Las Vegas as he continues his preparations for Sunday's fight with Mike Tyson. Not even the assured confidence of the former champion is putting him off his stride.
It's the looks that count in boxing, the brooding belligerence of the champion, the ice-cold stare of the challenger. Neither man willing to give an inch or any hint of weakness.
Stares don't mean nothing, words don't mean nothing. His entourage have been saying some crazy things, but he's paying them. They have to say that, because after, when I finish with him, they're going to have to look for another job. They might get a job with you.
You win the battle of the stairs?
I don't know anything about that. My objective, I don't stare down. He looks at me, I look back. He can't bully me, please.
You're going to be champion again?
Oh, absolutely, sir.
So he doesn't intimidate you?
Not one little bit. I think you intimidate me more.
You're very kind, Bruno. But
Thank you very much.
Of course, both teams were talking victory.
He does not have to worry about what he's going to do. It's going to come out of him. There's nobody who can do what he does better.
He feels and he knows he cannot be defeated. And he's going into that ring with that attitude, and he's going to come away with his belt, and we're taking it back to England.
After Saturday night, I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world.
You're that hungry to get it back?
Oh, I'm going to get it.
No doubts that you can do it?
No doubts at all. If there was a doubt, I wouldn't be here, you know. I'd be fighting somewhere else.
The verbal battle of Vegas is almost over, with Frank Bruno just ahead on points. Soon we'll see how much all that rhetoric really counts when they climb into the ring. Then it's down to who's hungrier, not who talks the best. Jeremy Thompson, Sky News, Las Vegas.
And another reminder, it's exclusively live from Las Vegas on Sky pay-per-view starting at 2 a.m. this Sunday, and we'll be going live to Las Vegas in Sportsline tonight to get all the latest on the build-up. So I'll see you for that, and I'll see you for more sport again in about 45 minutes.
See, thanks. Tension increasing by the hour.
Set on the cards. We'll be going live in a few minutes' time.
Not trying to put a little bit of dignity, a little bit of class back into the heavyweight.
Live from Las Vegas in the early hours of Sunday morning, a fight to make British sporting history.
I have to beat him. I know the choice but to beat him.
There's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way.
Thousands of British fans are arriving in Las Vegas for Frank Bruno's showdown with Mike Tyson. Promoter Frank Warren says a Bruno victory will be one of British sport's greatest ever moments.
In Las Vegas, where else would you expect to find them than at Mad Dogs and Englishmen? Bruno's British Bulldogs are out here in force, some 5,000 fans hoping to see their man create sporting history.
This place will go crazy, yeah.
If we win the fight, we're going to have a hell of a night down at Mad Dogs.
As we say in America, Frank's going to kick ass, man, in a big way.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing ever in British sport history.
There'll be plenty of support for Bruno from fans desperate for a British sporting triumph.
And I think it eclipses everything. If Frank Bruno beats Mike Tyson, which I know he's going to do, if he beats him, then that makes him, you know, it's mega. England winning a World Cup, I think it's a little bit bigger than that.
Bruno certainly knows that this is his best chance to become a boxing legend.
I don't want to be flash or cocky, but I'm the champion. I hope you realise that, the champion. 100 years this Wednesday since a British heavyweight guy has got it, Bob Fitzsimmons. Won it in the ring. Won it in the ring, John Boy. Emphasise that. Won it in the ring, 100 years. So I'll go down in history, the Bruno.
Even some unlikely Americans are caught up in this Churchillian Battle of Britain.
And as Winston Churchill said, we'll fight him on the beaches, we'll fight him in the air battles, we'll fight him in the trenches, but we shall never, never surrender.
If Bruno did win, it would have to rank as one of the greatest British sporting triumphs of all time on American soil. Jeremy Thompson, Sky News, Las Vegas.
Well, they say talk is cheap. Try telling that to Don King, eh? Well, joining me now from Las Vegas, our senior US correspondent, Jeremy Thompson. Hello there, Jeremy.
Hello, Steve.
Now, fight fever, is it continuing to build?
It certainly is. I mean, an awful lot of those 5,000 fans that are expected to arrive from Britain starting to emerge into town now, filling up the bars and the casinos, spending their life savings by the looks of it, and getting very, very excited about the big fight on Saturday night here, Sunday morning your time, of course.
Now, they say the fight's going to be pretty explosive, but I think the final news conference was fairly explosive itself. Bruno had to deal with some heckling, didn't he, from the Tyson camp? He didn't seem very happy about that.
No, I think Team Bruno, if we can call them that, after Team Tyson, rather like it, really. They like the fact that Frank's being wound up by the opposition, and certainly we've noticed at a couple of the open events to the press that the Tyson people have got their cornermen and their seconds out there heckling Tyson. They've actually been pushing us around the ring. It looks like anything to cause a stir and put a bit of pressure on the British opposition.
Well, we're just rolling in some pictures of Bruno sparring here, looking in incredible shape, but he did make a comment saying that he'd sparred 181 rounds in this, and some people are saying he might actually be suffering from burnout. Can we actually believe that?
Well, Don King called him yesterday the chiseled Adonis, and he certainly looks in fantastic shape. But there is this thought that for a man of 34, does he really need to go that many rounds in sparring? Surely he knows what he's doing now. He just has to get fit and think about the fight and selectively spar. But he's done an awful lot of rounds, but that is Frank Bruno. He's a fitness fanatic. He won't let up, and there is obviously that doubt hanging over him, but I think it might be a doubt raised by the opposition camp, mind you.
I think so. I mean, his stamina has been called into question before, but he's obviously been putting in the training and says that's now not going to be a problem. Bruno has got better, but Tyson, really, since coming out of prison, he's an unknown quantity, really, isn't he?
The great enigma, isn't he? Tyson always has been, even more so now than he ever has been. The thought all week, really, is that we know about Bruno, but we don't know much about Tyson, the new Tyson. What is he made of? How's he going to fight? He's really only had 4 rounds in 4 years since he went inside. Nobody knows. He's being very reclusive. It's almost like the tables have turned this week. It's now Bruno who's strutting around, the cocky champion, confident of taking on this challenge, and it's now Tyson that we're seeing very little of. He's cancelled press conferences. He's cancelled public training bouts. He's gone in on extra days for training. So we don't know much about him. I mean, the aura that's coming out from his camp is the usual one of menace, but also perhaps there are still a few doubts about what Tyson can produce 4 years down the line from the heyday of the Tyson, the world champion. What was nice, though, Steve, yesterday, you may have noticed in some of the earlier reports that Mike Tyson did call me sir, and Frank Bruno said he was more intimidated by me than Tyson, so suddenly we found that Sky News has got rather caught up in the inter-camp hype that's been going on.
Get your gloves out. I'm not sure what odds you'd be, but what can you get for your money at the moment between the two fighters?
Well, it's very much odds on Tyson at the moment. We're talking about 9 to 1 on, generally. That's pretty much the bet, and 7 to 1 against Frank Bruno. A lot of the big money is going an even money bet that the fight will last 5 rounds. I mean, there is obviously a feeling here it's going to be very explosive, that Bruno, for all his fitness, has never really done a lot of big distance against the big fighters. He's never really laid out one of the great names in heavyweight boxing. So the feeling is that it's probably going to be over within the first half of those 12 rounds, and that's where the money's going at the moment.
Well, you've been soaking up the atmosphere as well. I mean, just as a sports fan, it really is a tough one to call, isn't it?
Oh, impossible, but lots of fun, isn't it? I mean, it's a week of endless speculation. Really, the two fight camps give away very little. They talk an awful lot, but a lot of it is a bit like Don King himself. You know, it's like a vast wind sweeping across the Nevada desert filled with very little bits of grit. So, no, you just have to try and piece together, look at the boxes. It's like Sager's looking at his horses just now. You've got to, you know, how do you sense who's hungry? And that's what it's going to be about. They're two very big, strong heavyweights in fantastic condition. Who's hungrier? Who wants to win that fight more than the other on Saturday night? And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I wouldn't want to call it. I mean, good sense says that Tyson's got a better track record than Bruno. The heart of a Briton will say Bruno's got to do it.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. I hope you have better luck than Mark Saggers has had at Cheltenham. Now, just a reminder that you can see the big fight. It's coming to you live, Sky pay-per-view, this Sunday from 2 a.m. It's going to be quite a night in the world of boxing, isn't it? Arriving in Las Vegas for Frank Bruno's showdown with Mike Tyson, promoter Frank Warren says a Bruno victory will be one of British sport's greatest ever moments.
In Las Vegas, where else would you expect to find them than at Mad Dogs and Englishmen? Bruno's British Bulldogs are out here in force. Some 5,000 fans hoping to see their man create sporting history.
And this place will go crazy, yeah.
If we win the fight, we're going to have a hell of a night down at Mad Dog's.
As we say in America, Frank's going to kick ass, man, in a big way.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing ever in British sport history.
There'll be plenty of support for Bruno from fans desperate for a British sporting triumph.
And I think it eclipses everything. If Frank Bruno beats Mike Tyson, which I know he's going to do, if he beats him, then that makes him, you know, it's mega. England winning a World Cup, I think it's a little bit bigger than that.
Bruno certainly knows that this is his best chance to become a boxing legend.
I don't want to be flash or cocky, but I'm the champion. I hope you realise that, the champion. 100 years this Wednesday since a British heavyweight guy has got it. Bob Fitzsimmons. Won it in the ring. Won it in the ring, John Boy. Emphasise that. Won it in the ring, 100 years. So I'll go down in history, the Bruno.
Even some unlikely Americans are caught up in this Churchillian Battle of Britain.
And as Winston Churchill said, we'll fight him on the beaches, we'll fight him in the air battles, we'll fight him in the trenches, but we shall never, never surrender.
If Bruno did win, it would have to rank as one of the greatest British sporting triumphs of all time on American soil. Jeremy Thompson, Sky News, Las Vegas.
At 21, he was the youngest ever undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Sensational stuff!
He was unbeatable. But that was 8 long years ago, and now there's a new champion.
What a fight we have here!
Is Tyson ready? Maybe, maybe not. One thing's for sure, Bruno is ready. Live in the early hours of Sunday morning, a fight to make British sporting history.
Sheila, thank you. Yes, good morning to you. Frank Bruno is the heavier, Mike Tyson the quicker. That's the news from the weigh-in this morning for Sunday's big fight in Las Vegas. Tyson was the first on the scales at their weigh-in this morning, still insisting that the fight would be won in the early rounds, perhaps as soon as the first he's threatening, and that Bruno wouldn't know what had hit him. But if heavier is better for this fight, then Bruno has scored his first victory already. His huge figure has given him a 27-pound advantage in the fight. And this is what it all adds up to. Tyson weighing in at 15.10, Bruno at 17.9, Bruno with a 2-stone advantage. By the way, Lennox Lewis's promoters in America will be in New Jersey in court this afternoon, our time, to try and get the World Boxing Council to withdraw their backing for the fight. One outcome could be a damages payment to Lewis. But the fight will be live and exclusive, of course, on Sky pay-per-view from 2 o'clock on Sunday morning. Almost 2 stone when he steps into the ring in Las Vegas on Sunday morning. Bruno scaled an imposing 17 stone 9 pounds. Tyson came in at 15 stone 10. So 27 pounds the difference, 17 pounds more than when they first met in February 7 years ago.
It didn't take long for Bruno's balmy army to hurl themselves into the verbal fray. All fired up by Team Tyson's intimidators, complete with battle fatigues. It was Laura Bruno who led the troops in her husband's defense.
Introducing Iron Mike Tyson.
Into this extraordinary tumult stepped the gladiators. The challenger looking every inch the Tyson of old.
220 pounds for Mike Tyson.
For all his support, as Bruno stepped onto the scales, there seemed just a flicker of doubt. Perhaps the atmosphere and the awesome presence of Tyson.
247 pounds for the champion, Frank Bruno.
Bruno almost 2 stone heavier than when they last fought. After the weigh-in, the way-up. A last chance for a stare-down before battle as the rival teams exchanged jibes. The competition's already heating up outside the ring for what promises to be one of the most explosive heavyweight confrontations inside the ropes. Jeremy Thompson, Sky News, Las Vegas.
And don't forget the fight live, explosive and exclusive on Sky's pay-per-view. Coverage starts from 2 o'clock on Sunday morning for you.